being alert, attentive, vigilant and sensitive are the basic qualities in the process of enlightenment as well as the outcome of enlightenment. Because all enlightened ones are alert, attentive, vigilant and sensitive. Therefore, they are highly compassionate and benevolent. In the basic process of enlightenment, the outcome is dependent on three stages described by the Buddha in his long discourse called Mahasatipatthana Sutta, using three similes as well as stating it, the process metaphorically. He says in his own language of the Pali, the Buddhist language, Ekayano ambikve maggo. This is a path tread by one person only. And in that path of enlightenment, he refers to another qualities of the process, saying, Rukkamula gatoa, aranya gatoa, sunyagara gatoa. The verbal meaning is aranya gatoa means you start meditation, the process of enlightenment, going into a jungle. You can go to a jungle. Rukkamula gatoa, you can start that process and proceed in that process under a tree, Rukkamula gatoa. Sunyagara gatoa, you can follow the process of enlightenment in an empty space. Those are the meanings of the three steps in the process of enlightenment verbally. But metaphorically, indirectly refers to three stages in the process of our mind in the process of enlightenment. Aranya gatoa, it means as if you have gone into a jungle, forest, infested by wild animals and infested by a lot of other dangers. Therefore, when you are traveling in a jungle, you have to be very alert, very attentive to all sensations. Because you don't know exactly where the dangers are. They are in the forest. Therefore, you have to be very vigilant and sensitive. That is the nature in the process of enlightenment too. One has to be very sensitive, very alert, very attentive to all sensations. We have 5 sense organs externally, and we have an inner sense organ called our mind. The 5 external sense organs are eye, ear, nose, tongue and the skin. They are sensitive to sense objects. And when your sense organs contact sense organs, in that process of enlightenment, we have to be very sensitive. with regard to all 5 aspects of sensation. Then the second stage, because even in a forest, all your sense organs must be alert while you are going through a jungle infested by wild animals and unseen dangers. Similarly, our mind is also a jungle. Lot of evil aspects crop up in our own mind, unknown to us. That means we have to be very careful with regard to our mind, how it comes in contact with the hidden evil nature of the mind. Because for 20 years after enlightenment, Buddha taught his disciples, saying in his own language, Pali language, Sabba Papa Sakarana, refrain from all evil. Kusalasya Upasampada. Cultivate all virtues. Sachitta Pariyodapana, purify the mind. To avoid evil in the mind cropping up, we have to be very careful, vigilant, sensitive, and alert in the process of enlightenment. That is, in the first stage of the process of enlightenment called meditation, the Buddhist meditation, all your sense organs are alert and you are aware of all sensations. Then comes the second stage, when your mind is concentrated on the mind itself. You get absorbed in the bliss of the mind that you achieve in the first stage by being sensitive to all sensations without liking and disliking, without thinking. Our mind has 2 types of activities. One is being sensitive, awareness. That is a natural activity. The eye can see, the ear can hear, the nose can smell, the tongue can taste, the body can touch sense objects. And the mind can become aware of different sensations. That means in the first stage, the mind is alert, aware, sensitive, there is sensation, but without thinking. We think of things when we like, dislike things, or ignorant of things. We think of things that we like, we think of things that we dislike, and we think of things that we are ignorant of. Buddha said in his Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the discourse I referred to, in the first step, in the first trance, your mind is free from likes and dislikes and attentive. And the mind is virtuous, free of all evil. Vivicheva kamehi. Kama means the mental magnetism. The mind is not using its mental magnetism for attraction and repulsion, to like or to dislike. Just become aware. Pure awareness is there. Liking means thinking. Disliking means thinking. Without thinking, the mind becomes aware, sensitive. For example, one type of meditation called Anapanasati Bhavana, you become aware of your in and out breathing, exhaling and inhaling. When you become aware, without using likes and dislikes, that means without using mental magnetism, you don't think of it. You don't get too much attached to or desire for breathing, because it is a natural process. You have enough air to breathe in. No greed, no desire for breathing. And when you are aware of breathing, you don't hate breathing. You don't dislike breathing because you can't live without breathing. When you are aware of what is happening inside you, outside you, in your body and mind, that means you are alert, you are attentive, you are aware. The sensitivity is there. Vivicceva kamehi, and in that stage, as your mind is free from attachment or resentment, there is no special attachment for breathing because it is a natural thing that goes on. You don't dislike or resent breathing because you can't live without breathing. Vivicceva kame, vivicceva akusale dhamme. That means the mind is free from attachment and resentment and ignorance. Attachment, resentment and ignorance are evil aspects of the mind. That first stage, the first trance, you are aware of all sensations, free from all evil natures. Savitakkan savicharan, that is become aware of sensations. Then the mind is free of any tension. Tension free, restlessness free. The mind is very comfortable in that stage, and that is called vivekaja. There is a vacation in the mind. The mind is free from its activities. As I mentioned earlier, the mind has two types of activities, main activities. One is sensation, sensing, being aware, and think of what one becomes aware of. Thinking is a deliberate process. Being aware is an indeliberate process of the mind. It happens naturally. As I mentioned earlier, the eye can see, the ear can hear, the nose can smell, the tongue can taste, the body can touch, the mind can become aware of ideas. They are natural processes. Thinking, you like him means it's deliberate. The self is there, ego is there, self-centered. In meditation, the first stage, the first trance, the mind is free of deliberate activities of the mind. And that mind is peaceful, tranquil. And that tranquility of being free of deliberate activities, Pītusakam patamajjanam upasampadya vihari. That is how it is described in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Then comes the second stage of trance, Dutiya Dhyana. The first stage is the patamajjhana. The second dhyana, the trance absorption, is called Dutiya Dhyana. In that, sense organs become numb. You don't hear, you don't see, you don't smell. The mind is free of external sensations. Because the mind is absorbed in the mind itself, the trance of the mind, the tranquility of the mind. And it is said, Vitakka vichara upasama. Sensations come to an end. Vitakka vichara. External sensations. But awareness is there. Chetaso avitakka vicharam. Without thinking of sensations, external sensations, the mind is absorbed in the tranquility itself, its own tranquility. Samadhidam pītusukam. That is the second trance. Then the third trance, upekko viharati. Pītyacha viraga. That means, pīti means the tranquility of the mind, the ecstasy of tranquility, the delight of tranquility, you are not attached to. You just become aware of that delight, upekko, without any resentment, without any attachment. Then comes the fourth stage, Upekka Satima Sukha Vihariti. The tranquility is there, the presence of the mind is there, but we are not attached to it. Free from, it is pure awareness without liking and disliking. Satima Sukha Vihari. That means when you come to the second stage means when the sensations, the alertness of all sense organs, external sense organs, come to a stop. You are not alert, because first stage is as if you are in a jungle, all sense organs, external sense organs alert. That alertness ceases. But the tranquility of the mind is there. Then you feel as if you are under a tree after walking in the hot sun. When you come to a tree, big tree, where you are safe and secure, your mind becomes tranquil. As if you are under the shade of a tree after traveling under the hot sun. Rukkamula Gatova, as if you have gone to a big tree after walking in the hot sun. Then the third step is Sunyagara Gatova. Sunyagara Gatova is empty space, empty apartment. Empty means you come to the stage of the mind empty of all sense objects, free from all sense objects. The mind is completely empty. It is that emptiness of the mind that turns into Nirvana. That is the ultimate outcome. In the Dharavaga of Dhampada says, in his first period of joy, Visankara Gatan Chitta. The mind became free of all mental activities, sankara. No thinking, no feeling, no sensation. That means there is nothing to sense, nothing to think of. Therefore, Nirvana is called Sunyata, void or emptiness. Free of all mental elements, objects, thoughts, mental images, free of thinking, mental activities. That is the final bliss of tranquility one attains at the enlightenment. And after that enlightenment, the alertness, the sensitivity, the vigilance, the attentiveness remain intact. Therefore, enlightened one is highly compassionate and highly benevolent, because in that stage of enlightenment there is no self-center, no desires. Enlightenment is called Vitaragi, Vitadosi, Vitamohi. No liking, no disliking, no ignorance. That means full of alertness, full of sensitivity, full of attentiveness, full of vigilance. Therefore, enlightened ones are called Jagaryani Yoga. That means they do not sleep. They are constantly alert, constantly attentive, constantly vigilant, constantly sensitive. Sensitivity is the basis of all virtues. That means highly sensitive means highly virtuous. Being enlightenment means becoming completely, perfectly, excellently, highly sensitive. Sensitive means attentive, alert, and vigilant.